Welcome back to your favourite podcast in Australia.
Love
2Ds on a pod. How are we,
Yeah, we're going worldwide now. Because
we've gone big. We're viral now.
we are huge. And when I mean huge, I mean like,
Joe Rogan is small to us.
yes. We should get a contract soon, so Spotify, please hit us up.
Audio only on Spotify, though.
I did notice, this is not on any of the records for what we're going to talk about today, but Producer are actually like starting to sign people. So Dylan,
Surely,
Buckley's
imagine.
like, company. So, I mean, I think they actually hire out their like studio.
Yeah.
So we might have to go and settle in Melbourne for a little bit.
I'd actually locally.
Okay.
Would you honestly? So dead ass. If the podcast, we were like, all right, I think it'd be best to move to Melbourne for it.
Yeah, mate, it's my
Would
hometown.
you?
It's my new hometown.
But
man.
you've been studying. You got a job over here.
True. So I'd have to give up my footy over here, work, and also uni. So yeah, I'll be pretty screwed. But I mean, put it all on the table just to keep on going the podcast.
That's a commitment we make, though, really, isn't it?
Yeah, we do that. Happy Mother's Day for yesterday.
My favourite time of the year.
It
honestly.
is.
It's
We
my
love the
favourite holiday.
mothers. Shout out to you, because without you, we are nobody. So shout out to you guys.
Shout out to you guys. They are the hottest women.
They're the hottest.
I think there is something about there's ladies, and then as soon as you have a kid, you're just 10 times hotter. Am I not wrong?
I mean, yes, they are. So what we might do is like a rank of top 10 MILFs, and starting at number 10, Brandy Love. No, just joking about that. I mean, Dylan was like pretty serious. He's like, you should do a rank.
Do you want me to give you the results? Because I put 5 hours of my time, effort, and just I had to
Might
think.
as well.
I had to think.
If you put a lot of thought into it.
So I was telling Drew earlier. I mean, Mother's Day is yesterday. My favorite time of the year. I found out a lot of my friends have hot mums.
Yeah, right.
A lot of them have hot
Jackson
mums.
Salad for one.
Facts. So anyway, this
I like
morning
it,
I'm
bro.
thinking, I'm like, all right, out of like all time, what are the top 3 like all time MILFs?
So as a kid, I do love a MILF, but I think the more I grow, I don't even know why are we talking about this. I feel so uncomfortable. Not gonna lie, but Brandy Love is up there. Like, she's probably like my number one.
Well, that took it. Okay, this is a little bit of a different turn than I took it. All right,
Yeah,
so
okay.
maybe get your head out the gutter and you might.
I mean,
feel less
Madison
uncomfortable.
Ivy. That's another one.
Even further down the gutter. So my number 3 MILF is Marge Simpson. Right, the goat. She holds it down. She's held it down for a long time.
Not gonna lie, I don't know.
All right.
I don't think I know. Oh, I might
Marge
know it.
Simpson.
Huh?
Marge Simpson.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I know what you're talking about now. I'm talking about actual. I thought you said.
All right.
Yeah, I thought you said someone. Yeah, okay. Nah, she's bad.
Is your head out the gutter? Yeah.
She's bad. No, she's bad.
All right, number 2,
course.
Elastigirl from The Incredibles.
Yes.
You know the one
I
I'm
think
talking
she's
about.
she's number 2.
Yeah, I got a number 2.
Damn.
Number 1, she gets knocked off by Brandy Love.
Oh, okay.
But look, Elastigirl, you're up there.
Elastigirl is stick, not gonna lie. Anyway, that's a bit of a weird topic. But
Perfect starter.
you know who we all so let's roll the intro. You know who we also love, so obviously love our mothers, bless them. We also love, everyone loves Jared.
Everyone loves Jamie.
Everyone loves Jay Money. So we had him on the podcast last week. Glad that we got heaps of views. Thank you for watching.
Please subscribe. We didn't get one new
Yes.
fucking subscribe. Like, honestly.
We probably needed it at the start. Like, yeah, please subscribe, please.
Surely we get one of those EDM intros, like, you know, the old FIFA style ones where.
Oh yeah. So yeah, Jared, thank you for coming on. Very good guest. Probably our best guest ever.
I think you could say that. I think you could confidently say he's our best guest ever.
We never had another guest. So
Looking back on it, I think that was my favourite episode to record that we've done so far.
he brought some pretty cool stories. Like, they were very
Good
funny.
luck at getting small guests on, I reckon. That might be the way.
Yes. So obviously Jared had his debut last week, but I had 2 more debuts on the ruse for this week. Had Sam Alaga. I love calling him Alaga. Everyone loves to call him Alaga. So Sam Alaga and Brock Lewis. So Brock Lewis made.
Doesn't he play for West Perth?
So yeah. Sorry, Brock, but he got dropped. But definitely we love that because we bring better talent to the club.
That's what you want.
So, and then, just to top it off, Sam wins an award just in his debut game for
What did he win?
Seniors. He got, I think it was 4th best, 3rd best on.
What's that? 2 vodka sodas at bar 1?
Yeah,
or?
probably something like that. I don't know. Oh no, he's got $50.
Oh, that's not bad. Imagine,
Yeah.
remember junior footy, you won like a fucking canteen voucher or something, and they just
or
give
like
you like $50.
AMF bowling.
Yeah,
I would
legit.
never use.
$10 off AMF,
Yeah.
like a game or something.
But the kid walks up and doesn't smile at all.
Who?
Sam. So he goes and he's like, yeah, Sam won. He's got an award. I think he's got an award like in the 2s at all. And then he walks up there, like, Sam Alga, you won the awards, and then he just walks up this like this.
Mate, it's probably shit nervous.
No, it was at the Ashby as well.
Yeah.
It wasn't like
Right,
that.
there's randoms looking on.
Yeah, no, but he doesn't crack a smile at all. So obviously not very happy with the third best line. Probably maybe thought he
That's his mentality. There's different mentality, the Kobe mentality.
But anyway, so obviously I would have seen him, but I've fallen down, man. I've fallen down. I've gotten dropped, which is fair enough because I definitely thought I should have been dropped like a few weeks before. But I didn't get to watch the boys that go against like Whitfords. I hate Whitfords as well.
Fuck Whitfords.
But it's even better when you get dropped. And I thought, all right, we had normally the 3s and 4s play like home when others play away. So I was like, oh yeah, home game. No, I have to drive down to Mannington.
Who's having?
It was Levier, yeah. So I saw Levier play, yeah, and I love what I've seen in the number 21. So shout out Levier.
I don't know if I accidentally exposed you, but I got a message from Lev on Thursday night.
Yeah.
And he goes, bit of a weird one. Is Drew's name actually Andrew? And I'm like, yeah, why? And he goes, I was just wondering if he had a brother or something. I saw an A Murden in the 3s. I didn't know if it was him or not.
Nah, it'd be me.
How'd you go in the 3s? You've been chopping up in the 2s?
I still suck.
Still a list.
I think I got worse. Nah, I actually did play a lot better against a slower opposition, so that was great. Kicked it behind as well. No. I had a set shot and I should have kicked it, and it would have put us we were still behind, and I think if I kicked it, we would have had a bit of momentum. So
did you win or?
No, we lost by 5 goals as well. So, but I got to meet lots of new guys, so. Hopefully I'll play a few more games with them. But they're actually good blokes.
If we really think about it, right? If you think about all the best podcasts, especially in the our little field of sport.
Yeah.
If you look at the podcasts where there's like one shitty footy player who doesn't really get named, and then there's one gun on the same one.
Yeah.
Like the only other one is list cloggers, and they're doing something right. So we have one shitty player who can't get a game in the 2s.
Exactly.
One gun. I think we'll do something right.
Put me on the honour board in the club rooms, or even just in general, put me on the honour board. Because there's 2 people that come to mind when they have a podcast and they get dropped to the 2s, and that's Daniel Gorringe and myself. So I'm doing something right. I love my idol, Daniel Gorringe, so love that. But nearly got into a scrap.
And that's very unlike you.
That is, so Dylan knows how I play, and I'm very by the book. I don't try and aggravate anyone, but I was playing wing pretty much the whole game, and playing on the same guy as well. And it was like
tagging or just happened to play on him.
Just came across each other a few times. Like he was a shit player. I'm not gonna lie. I don't even know. I hope he's watching this. I'm at 18 from.
It's hard to say we lose by 5 goals, but
he was so bad anyway. So because he just didn't run. Like I'd run defensively, and he would just like hold out, and so we would trying to like rebounds, and I'm just like out of position because this guy wouldn't like go he wouldn't want to kick a goal for him. I'm like, mate, don't you want a goal? But anyway, 2 minutes ago we were already lost down in the dumps, and I tackled him. It was just about to go across the line, the ball, but he kept it in, and I was like, I'm gonna have to tackle him and like, push him, and like kind of wrapped him up, and I nearly, because it was like out of bounds, we were already past, and because I was a bit angry, I nearly did like the grab and then like the swing, and absolutely drop him. But I was like, nah, it's not me. It's like 2 minutes to go. Bit of a rough town as well. I was like, nah, I'll hold on to him. But you could kind of tell that I was like gonna do it, and then kind of like held on to his jumper a little bit longer, just like popped him up. Because he was very light as well. He's probably the same size as me. And we were like walking back because it was out of bounds, and he's like, "What are you doing, bro?" I'm like, "Oh, I just tackled you." And he's like, "No, but why are you grabbing me?" I'm like, it was a tackle, bro. And I was doing the like classic lawyer, like just reasonable like answers back, and he'd get more triggered. And he's like, and then he was walking backwards, and I was like walking for and then he like still he's going like, I'm not walking backwards. Like he kind of be like tough, and I was like tattling like to him real close, and he's like, bro, if you don't go away now, I'm gonna throw hands. I'm like, bro, I just tackled you. Like,
your
fine,
heart's like
right?
beating like
nah,
crazy right now.
Because I was like, once I'm fired up, like I was never gonna like touch him and all, because I knew if I pushed him, he was gonna like go swinging. And then even his other boys came around. He's like, "Bro, just let it go." I'm like, "Yeah, okay." Like, I'm in a. Like, it was a rough part.
So all the other boys come like, "Boys, let it go." So you're walking out thinking like, "Yeah, I'm the fucking man." They
Nah,
pull me
because
off.
like everyone knew, because everyone was around like the stoppage. Like, all I did was tackle him. Like I didn't throw him. I didn't. Like, it was a tackle.
He was definitely wanting some like just a bit of push and shove, and like as someone who I don't know, I get a bit of a white line fever when I played, and as someone who did kind of like that. Nothing is more annoying than when you're trying to initiate it and you have someone who's not, but they keep getting lippy, and you're just following them about, and they're still lippy, and like you can't be the first one to reach out.
Yeah. And then I did the classic because it was really close to the end, and he was still annoyed after the game. He's like, "Oh fuck!" He's like, "Yeah, you could see his tree. He's probably on something as well. He's low key."
His only chance for a goal, and you fucked it up.
No, like he was never gonna kick a goal. Like, even if he did have a shot, like he would probably miss. But yeah, he was like he pissed it after the game. And I was just like, I'd go and shake everyone's hands. It's like, "I want to shake your hands." And so I went up to him. He didn't even look me in the eye. I shook his hand. I was like, "Whatever, this kid, bro." But like, I was fired up.
You get some odd characters in the Saturday sport.
You do.
It was like when we were at indoor cricket the other day, watching when you're filling in for, your legendary uncle's team.
Yeah.
And so we're sitting there. So Drew's uncle has this indoor cricket team, and I got a message from Raj, and he's like, "Oh, surely come watch Drew and I play indoor tonight."
Yeah.
And I was like, "All right, I've got nothing else on. I'll go with them."
Yeah.
So where did we trek down to? Because it was not where I was thinking.
Backkkkk. Yeah, a bit of a trek. So
let you continue.
Yeah, we there's a team down there. So indoor cricket, there's 8 of us, and I somehow got into the team just through family connections.
Because you bowl 100 Ks now, but
I bowl better than Raj. So I've played some indoor cricket back in like year 6, so 10 years between the innings, pretty much. Raj was always played outdoor, never indoor. And I was like, yeah, bring Raj along, he'll be pretty good. I know he's more of a bowler than a batter, which I was like, and so am I, because I suck at batting. So I actually did alright. We bowled first. I got a couple wickets. Raj didn't get any. Raj got smacked around a little bit. And then they came. We were bowling, and it came down to when they were batting, we didn't have to make. They batted first, and so there was a bit of a redneck / bogan / hillbilly / I found out a new term. I think it's really offensive, and like, you know how
is it written?
It's bumpkin.
Bumpkin.
Calling someone a bumpkin sounds funny as, but I'm pretty sure, and if there's an American viewer, like, I'm pretty sure bumpkins,
I think redneck or hillbilly is more offensive than that, surely.
Apparently not. Apparently bumpkin's up there. But yeah, there's bumpkin, this bum. He's wearing like a colourful beanie.
He was wearing like a knitted beanie. It was weird.
It was different braids.
Did you see he had the matching socks?
Did he?
So I picked him. He had matching knitted socks, with the same with his beanie.
It was a different breed because with indoor cricket, like when you get a wicket, you lose 5 runs. Mm-hmm. So basically, he kept on smashing the bat against the net, and every time he did that, that was negative 10 runs. So at the end, you bat for 4 overs with a partner. At the end, they had negative 30.
Okay, so hold up. So this guy smacked the side once with his bat, and the umpire said, "Don't do that." Like there was a warning before the runs.
Was it? I was not paying attention. Not gonna lie. I'm
sitting on the sidelines. I didn't really doing anything in the game, just watching. So he hits it, and the umpire gives him a warning, and is like, "No, don't do that, or there's gonna be runs taken off."
Yeah.
And he did it 3 times afterwards, and getting progressively more mad at the umpire for taking the runs off as he's smacking the side.
Because it's pretty hard. The umpiring is really, or the ref or whatever. It's really hard because he's standing behind.
It's a dumb position that they're set.
Yeah, he's standing behind the batsman, and then he's trying to also see the run outs. So there's lots of run outs because obviously in confined space, and so heaps of run outs, and there's lots of debates on whether he was in, whether he was out, and it's honestly the umpire's decision at the end of the day. And you can gamble, so if you can put a $5 bet and be like, "I reckon you're wrong," and then I'm pretty sure, I think it's a bit of a long exercise, but I think they have cameras in the thing, whatever, and so you can find out whether you're right or wrong, and it could save a game. But we were already they only made 40, we made probably 100 before Raj and I came on. We only added 4 runs.
It was a comprehensive win.
Yeah, it was a good win.
it was a comprehensive win, but then in saying that,
game,
we're watching them and we're like, this team is pretty shit. Like, they say, like, what are they doing? And then we get, like, word through the kind of the whispers.
Oh,
that
yeah.
old mate is celebrating his 21st birthday. This is a Wednesday night. And this guy is just maggot playing.
I mean, why not have a prees when you're playing cricket?
Why not go out on a Wednesday night and why not have cricket as your prees?
Yeah, well, I'd love that. I'd get the boys over,
That could
go
actually be
play
elite.
some indoor cricket. Yeah. Like, the guy was smashed. So, because I found out, and he was batting first, and he's like, I could smell in his breath. I'm like, this guy's smashed. And he's like,
JDs.
Yeah, he's having a few. Oh, he was also, whilst he was fielding, they had like the big zips, and he would, in between like deliveries, he would quickly get a drink and then put it back down, put the zip down. So he was a different breed as well. And I remember the same guy. He was kind of like chirping at me the whole game. We're pretty much best mates. Like, I'm not gonna lie, we're pretty much best mates. 'Cause he loved me. Because even when he started to bowl to me, he's like, hit it for seven. I'm like, I'm not that good, mate. Calm down.
I'm pretty sure he said hit it for 7 and Drew got a wicket within the next
pretty
2
much,
balls.
Yeah. So, and then he was also, he was off his head. And when I was trying to bowl to him, I'm like, if I don't get a wicket now, he's like smashed. Like, I told Raj as well, I'm like, bro, bowl your best delivery ever, and he'll probably hit that for 6, and then bowl a shit one, and he'll probably get him out. So that was a bit of a weird thing. Should we move on to selection table for this week?
Yeah, so like only 2 things on the selection table this week. Not too busy of a weekend. I was busy sport-wise. I mean, I didn't really get too much time. So first up on the selection table this week, for the people at home, if you guys don't know, Kendrick Lamar has dropped a new single today.
It did. I didn't give it a listen.
The Heart Part 5. Have you listened to it?
I have, yeah.
That is actually real good. That's
randomly,
okay.
yeah.
So what do you think of it? When I listened to it, I didn't mind it. I want to give it another couple listens through before I give it an actual score. My first listen through though, I gave it a 6. I wasn't super in on it, but I want to listen to the other. I've not listened to the other Heart parts. But I want to get them all listened as well.
Yeah, I think it's hard because you go based on what he's produced in the past. Definitely like for his like Humble album, even before then, you kind of take it with a little bit of a grain of salt and be like, all right, what's he aiming for? Is he aiming for kind of like a radio hit, which I don't think clearly in the song he's not looking for a radio hit. It's more, I guess, sentimental to him.
Yeah. Well,
and to what he's rapping. I haven't looked at the lyrics, so I haven't gone into it.
So he's releasing an album soon, but he's actually doing a double album drop. So
cool.
He's releasing 2 albums upcoming up.
It's been a while.
Very excited. Yeah. Well, people thought he was going to do it with Damn in 20. When did that Damn?
Is that 2017 or 2015?
I thought it was 2016. Yeah. 2016. But he was going to do it in 2016. Didn't do the double drop. Yeah. So apparently he's going to do a double drop this time. We're very excited. So I mean, Kendrick Lamar, we bringing him up to the ones.
Yeah, we got to like
release date 2017.
Yeah. I think there's a few albums. It's so hard with those type of rappers because they have albums where you can clearly see that they're trying to get the most hits, and then they kind of bring out an album or EP or whatever, like the untitled one, and you're just like, oh, what's that?
But Kendrick has a great array of untitled songs, so
So
fun fact: the Damn album was the first album the first album on release that I'd listened to like from cover to cover, and I actually made the time to sit down and listen to it.
I think I'd have to say Green Day American Idiot would have to be like the first one that I honestly went through. But or even my brother had like a CD player, and Mika. Yeah, like I could be
yeah.
So he got that album somehow, and he played the living shit out of it, and I just know every song now pretty much. And that was good. But I just honestly love Kendrick. So,
he's one of the goats. Yeah. So Kendrick came brought up for the ones.
Bring him up.
So yesterday, UFC card.
Didn't watch
Rose Mano Nunez fight. Shitty fight, very boring. You didn't miss out on much. The Gaethje fight got stopped in the first round via rear naked choke from Charles Oliveira. The best fight of the night would have been Michael Chandler versus Tony Ferguson, which is up for selection table. So we have Michael Chandler. He's up for selection. So we'll put the clip up on screen, but this is the clip. So I don't know if you know much about UFC.
Yeah, no Conor McGregor.
Okay, so Tony Ferguson, the guy he's versing.
Yeah, I've heard of him before. He's a bit old now, isn't he?
He's getting towards the older side, but nobody finishes him. Right? There's even like submissions. Like
Is he
there's been
world champ or
no, I don't think it's been a while. He's not world champ at the moment. It's been a while since he's been, if he has been. But there's like photos of him, and he's got like he's in a submission. His arm is facing the complete other way, and he just won't tap. He's like, no one finishes him. He's crazy durable. So this is yesterday. So I'm at our good friend Rowan's house, watching the fight with him and Duncan, and it was a scrap, but like
Ron with just chin, bro.
So there's a photo which I'll try to find after the podcast. I didn't manage to save it on my phone. Where it's
is this the main card or not?
So yeah, this was before the main event.
Yeah, right.
Or before the two co-main events. So there's a photo in this. Clay's able to try to find it where it's basically just as he makes contact with this thing,
his
entire face is just drooped down. It looks like a square. He looks like a Minecraft character. It's fucked. But anyway, Michael Chandler, after that performance and a knockout like that, what do you reckon?
Well, so obviously the ranking, like what's Tony in regards to, is this guy or Dan?
Yeah, so that's the how fucked is that?
It looks like he's remember, it's going way back. So when we used to walk into the science and there's like the Homo sapien. And remember there's gonna be one that was like funny as we used to take the absolute piss out of it. But yeah, it looks like one of those skulls where he's been sent back through evolutions, bro.
So with the rankings, so Tony Ferguson, he was coming into the fight ranked 9th. Michael Chandler was coming in ranked 6th.
Yeah, right.
So
he got the job done.
He got the job done. They're both like Michael Chandler probably would be.
Who was favourite to win? Should be Chandler.
I think it was Chandler. Yeah.
That finish is like insane, though.
Oh yeah, I mean nobody does that to Tony, but I mean Chandler is looking for a way to get to the title. I mean, he's looking to call out Conor McGregor next. Maybe a bit of a detour, but he's looking to make a title run. Tony Ferguson, though, you'd say is towards the end of his career, but still absolutely insane knockout. I'm bringing him up to the ones for that one.
Nah, that is a clean finish. I would, I don't even know. Do you reckon that would ever happen to you in life?
Zero chance.
Yeah.
Or not like a head kick like that. Zero chance.
Yeah, exactly. So, and if that ever happens to me, just leave me. If I'm in coma, just leave me there.
Oh, and it was a bit scary after the fight, he's just been absolutely knocked out.
Yeah.
And it's always a bit bad when they don't go to replay straight away and they don't show the person on the floor. They just show the guy who's just won.
Yeah.
And so it was 2 minutes of just showing Michael Chandler, which is a crazy long time without a replay. And and he's like, he's celebrating, he's doing backflips and shit. And they accidentally change camera and they zoom past Tony Ferguson, and Tony Ferguson is stiff. He's stiff on the floor. His legs are crossed. His eyes are open, and he's just stiff boarded on the floor. And I was like, that's a tough look.
Who else was it? There was someone who's the best ever. It was a really fast kick to the face, wasn't it? It was yeah. Oh yeah, that one.
The knee.
That was the knee.
Yeah.
Oh, that's another real scary one.
Oh yeah. But the thing is, Ben Askren, that one is. I don't know. So Ben Askren, everyone knows that the whole scenario came out. That Masvidal knew what he was going to do, because Askren had a habit of coming out of fights and going straight for the shoot for the legs. He if he's going to make a shoot, you just have to put the knee straight there and you're gone.
Yeah, that's true. No, he absolutely got ruined by that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But yeah, no, that's any more selection? Is that it for this week?
That's just a light one this week. We'll have a packed one next week though.
Yeah. Now on to talking about packed. This is fucked. So there was a bit of a weird situation at work this week, not gonna lie. I just have a nice retail job, not too crazy.
The dream retail job though.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. Life's pretty good.
When you're 13 and you're trying to get a job, it's EB Games and this other store. It's the top two. We won't say the store if you don't want to, but EB Games is number one. This store's number two.
Probably legally not allowed to talk about this, but you'll talk about it. But yeah, so basically, we have the changing rooms at work, pretty standard for when you've got clothes because you want to try it on. And one of my other co-workers is hanging around the clothing section, and as you do. And I didn't see this guy at all until I saw the cops had him handcuffed and had him coming out. So basically this guy has gone up to a co-worker, showed him a phone of what he was about to jerk off to, and he's gone into the, like, what do they call it, like all the different clothing bays or whatever, and he's gone in there, locked the doors, and he's just gone ham in there. So yeah, it took so long, like the security at the shopping centre kind of were just hovering around there. This is like, and I didn't even know this was happening until maybe like half an hour.
Some guy is like furiously gorilla
Pretty
beating
much,
his man, and you're
and
just...
apparently, I was telling everyone, really, it was crazy. I was telling, apparently meth does that too. Apparently you get a bit horny when you're on meth.
I've actually heard that somewhere else.
Yeah,
I saw,
but I don't know if that's actually facts, so I might have to go and talk to the guy, get him on the next podcast. But yeah, he's wearing, so I saw him leaving, he's like a tall man, no shoes, Caucasian, like...
Stay classy.
Yeah, so that was pretty interesting, so...
Drop the Caucasian in there just at the end.
Yeah, well, I don't even know, bro, like, I didn't hear about it at all, and there was like security, I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And then...
But security are like the most useless people.
Yeah, because like the security would try and call the cops, and it was like a while until the cops are there.
Mate, he's going to be finished by the time the cops come.
And I walked past him apparently whilst he was... Yeah, I didn't even hear or see him. I was like, oh, I need a coat hanger, so I got to go in there. Like, I had no idea what was happening, and then I was like, yeah, whatever, and then grabbed it. And then, yeah, he kind of got escorted out.
You've been in there a while, do you need a helping hand in there?
Nah, I don't do any of that. But yeah, that was a bit of a weird one at work. I thought it would hopefully top the situations there, because that's, not what you want really on I think it was a Thursday afternoon. Oh my God. Yeah.
I actually don't know how I'd react if that had happened.
And like, even that poor, like, co-worker.
Was it a guy or girl?
Girl, yeah.
Girl?
Yeah.
That's rough.
So, yeah, it's no good, but...
I'm trying to think of a segue on from that. I can't even think of it.
I had really good segues as well this week, but talking about joking off. Formula 1. You make a joke out to Formula last night?
Fuck. All right, let's just move on into Formula 1.
Yeah.
How did you feel? If you want me to get into it? Or?
Yeah, get into it, because I
have a pet peeve, Drew. All right, turn me up. I woke up, I was heated. I'm sitting in bed this morning, and I was shaking.
We love how early did you get up?
3 a.m.
3 a.m. We love that. We love that.
That's commitment.
Yeah.
And
couldn't be me.
I'm up, and I'm like, I wanted to make sure I was up early. I was like, race starts at 3:30, but the grid walk's happening.
Yeah.
And this isn't just any Grand Prix. This is the most superficial. Nobody gives it an actual fuck about the cars. They're all there just for the glitz and glam.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to see this grid walk. Right. Yeah. Worst mistake of my life. Okay.
Wait, what time does the grid walk start?
So I loaded up. I started watching the stream at 3:00, and he was like, they would just started like doing the grid walk type shit. Like he was like on the grid. So anyway, he's walking around, and
who's he?
Martin Brundle. Sorry. Okay. So yeah, the GOAT.
Yeah.
And we'll start off. So first up, shoulder to shoulder, it is the busiest grid walk I've ever seen. Like it was the crazy. It's crazy. It's so packed in. He can barely move, and it's just filled with celebrities, and also like not middlemen, but like the people that are just like leeching off celebrities. Oh, like those type like their little entourage that they all have.
Yeah. Well, so like Mike Malak of Logan Paul.
But even like a tier down from that, like Mike's level of like entourage,
like Mike's assistant,
like Mike's assistants, and like Mike's people like that, and it's just filled with all of them.
Was there anyone? Oh, we don't even know like these people, so, like, right? Or do we know them? Are they still...
There was one... Okay, hold on. Let me get... So for start with this...
Was it Arthur Clarkson, was it this week?
He was actually putting his security... There's things for security as Lewis was walking out. But so anyway, I'll go back. So Martin Brundle's doing it. He sees the Williams sisters, Serena and Venus.
Oh yeah,
so
I saw that there,
they're coming up the grid, and he tries to talk to Serena, who's walking up first.
Yeah.
So he goes Serena and starts talking. She kind of half cold shoulders and doesn't really respond, but he keeps talking, and he's following her.
But doesn't even know who he is.
And then he then calls her Venus.
Ooh.
Right.
Which I don't blame him, because I saw a photo of them and I was like, that's Venus, and I look it up and I'm like, that's not Venus.
So. He calls her Venus, and then calls her Serena again. Oh. But then Serena's walking in front of Venus.
Yeah.
And so Serena then basically cold shoulders him, says like her 2 words the entire thing, and he's like, "Oh, nice to speak to you." And he starts thinking to Venus, and Venus is like, "Oh, Lewis Hamilton's our brother. He's gonna do it for everyone and shit like that, like whatever bullshit." Yeah. And so that was a normal track walk, grid walk, and he then has to rotate because they've gone off to do something else, and there's this Italian guy, all right. And I'm gonna get out his name because he honestly, like, I've never been this mad.
I
Gianluca Vacchi, you piece of shit.
What did he do?
So Martin Brundle is sitting on the grid walk, and this fuckhead, okay, I'm honestly hated. So him, okay, he's sitting on the grid. Martin Brundle walks up. I've never seen this guy in my life,
no.
okay? And he's sitting there, he's thinking he's hot shit on the grid, and Martin Brundle's like, oh, who are you? He goes, I'm a social media sensation, right? And I'm like, the fuck? And I'm like,
I mean.
So I checked.
Yeah,
valid. 22 million people follow him.
Yeah,
right.
Well,
and I've seen a lot of TikTok saying, "Oh, he's got to be taking the piss. How do you not know who Gianluca is?" and shit like that. It might be like a niche type thing.
Yeah,
but
it's like for example, I saw when Duncan shared like the Toronto lineup and roasted him by saying, "Oh, you going, bro?"
Yeah,
and everyone like laughed, reacted to that. But it's like all those comments were saying. And the number one like person was Dave.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, who's this Dave guy? Like,
but
who the fuck's
that's a music festival, right? Like, Dave has a reason to be there. This guy has zero reason to be there. And then to give lip to
he has
Martin
money.
Brundle.
That's one reason.
Oh, that's it. So anyway, so he goes, oh, I'm a social media sensation. So Martin Brundle goes, this is funny. Martin Brundle goes, and he's modest too. And then puts the microphone back in him. And he gives out his name. And then he's like, oh, like Gianluca or whatever thing. And fucking cold shoulders Brundle.
Yeah.
So then the most awkward part of the entire grid walk happens. So he's just being this guy. I'm already a bit heated. I'm like, all right, how is this going to get any worse? Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you know, for people at home, Paolo Banchero.
No.
So he's basically he's like the number one prospect coming out of the college basketball right now, coming up for the upcoming draft.
Yeah.
Or he's one of the top prospects. And he was on the grid walk. He was with Red Bull. And he looks vaguely. Do you know who Patrick Mahomes is, the quarterback in the NFL? He looks I could see, if you don't really know them, like I could see the similarities.
Yeah. Right.
So he was there with Red Bull.
Call him
They'll both there, right?
Oh, okay.
In thing.
Oh no.
So Martin Brundle's got the headset on, obviously, and they were actually, to be fair to him, they were near each other.
Yeah.
Paolo Banchero is 6'10". Patrick Mahomes is like 6'2". Keep in mind. And someone in Martin Brundle's ear goes, oh, Patrick Mahomes is down there. So Martin Brundle starts making towards where they both are, and he starts yelling out, Patrick!
Oh,
but anyway,
no.
So Paolo Banchero turns around and he starts getting interviewed, and Brundle thinks it's Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
And so, Paolo's sitting there like, oh, I love seeing all the drivers locked in. It reminds me of me when I'm in games, just locked in. And then Martin Brundle gets over his head. That's not Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, no.
So Martin Brundle goes, I'm sorry, I thought you were somebody else. What's your name? And he goes, oh, I'm Paolo Banchero. Shakes his hand, and Martin Brundle goes, nice to meet you, whatever, and walks off. And then completely fucking blanks him.
What was the guy's reaction to it?
They didn't show it because he handshakes. He goes whatever, and so Martin Brundle starts walking around. The guy's like looking.
It's pretty much like I don't know who came first, but it's like roaming Brian.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. A little bit. Yeah, but
so it's funny. Yeah, it's funny you mentioned like all of this because I saw that on Instagram. I'm trying to find it now, but on Instagram they had like all the photos of celebs that were there, and it had like David Beckham. And I was genuinely gonna say, and like I was gonna send it to you, be like there's people that I recognize, and like how many of these people that I don't recognize that you actually know?
That was like there's so many people.
Yeah.
Like I was like,
so
who are these people?
The Italian guy?
Yeah, fucking Gianluca.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck's that guy?
Yeah, I mean, it was David Beckham I can kind of understand at Miami because he's obviously part owner of Inter Miami.
Yeah.
But there's just so many. Like DJ Khaled was there. That was cool. DJ Khaled hopped on the mic and he was probably one of the only people that actually Martin Brundle knew and then gave actual time to Martin Brundle. So that was a highlight. But other than that, boring race. Until that safety car, it was just a boring race. Ferrari, you could say, missed out on had a bit of a strategy blunder. Could have easily pit. Maybe would have made the race a bit more interesting against Max. But Max just looked too comfortable with it today.
Yeah, I think I didn't really watch the race, but I saw it was kind of bad and not great to see. And I know obviously spin out.
That's a tough one. That's just a visibility type like.
That's hard. So I'm still pretty new to it, but does the tire flying off like that happen often or not really? I swear it doesn't happen that often. So
what had happened? So the actual tire, so like the rim is still on the car. It was just like the rubber part had come off. I mean, they are designed where like obviously like the tread part is just like a separate piece of rubber to the walls. Yeah. So like it happens a little bit. Like you mainly though you see it when it's like when they crash into the barrier and like the tire's hell fucked. Like it usually doesn't roll down the thing. Especially nowadays they have the tethers on There was one crash where they crashed and then his like whole rim and shit was just bouncing down the straight. until that was a safety issue.
Yeah,
so
I saw that.
It always happens. But
what I want to talk about is obviously Verstappen got another podium, and that puts him into the top 10 of most podiums of all time. He's up to 63. Don't know who he replaced. Probably just nobody.
All right.
Probably like someone really famous.
I don't have an aneurysm of Drew's called the top 10.
Anyway, he took over to nobody. But I just wanted to say that Hamilton started in 2007 and Verstappen started in 2015. And so there's an 8-year gap there. On the way that Verstappen's going right now, and keep in mind that Hamilton, how many more years do you reckon Hamilton has? Like,
I honestly think he'll either at the end of this year or next year.
Yeah,
really. If Mercedes don't start getting more tech, they looks good. I mean, it was a good result for them, but unless they start making fifth and sixth.
Yeah. So do you reckon he'll get to 200? So at the moment he's on 183. Do you reckon he'll get to the 200?
I don't know. I think
the way the car's going.
The last that's the reason, because I think the last two things that would be keeping him in Formula 1 at the moment would be number 8 and then also like win 200.
Yeah. So I think if obviously he's got a couple more years, but the way the rate that Verstappen's going, do you think that he's going to overtake? So, and you did raise the point earlier when we were off the podcast that when Hamilton was starting out, they only had 16 races compared to
look at the entire list. Yeah. They've progressively when they were starting there, I'm pretty sure Ayrton Senna and shit had 10, 13 races or something like that, and then Michael Schumacher had 16. Yeah, and then I think when Lewis came in, he didn't have. It wasn't the full 23 race grid that they have now. They still had a bit more races than Michael Schumacher and stuff, which is what people use as an argument against Lewis now, is the amount of races they have in the calendar to win. Yeah. But then he was his whole entire career wasn't the full calendars, I guess. It was actually not at this level, whereas Max has had 20 plus races each season in his entire career, and it's a bit tough because I don't know, Max is good. I'm not going to take away from Max. Asterisk world champion.
Sounds like you are.
Asterisk world champion, but he's a very talented driver, obviously. But he has. I mean, people say this about Lewis as well, and it does come down to the driver. But he's always been in a competitive car.
Yeah, yes.
And obviously, not the world championship in the first couple of years he was at Red Bull, but I mean, he won his first race at Red Bull, and yes, you could say, oh well, Mercedes crashed out that day, but he won his first race at Red Bull. He's been a race winner at Red Bull. You know what I mean?
It's been. Yeah.
He'll be up there. Whether he can beat Hamilton, and like I was saying to you off air as well, I will never compare Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton. They won't even be the same stratosphere for me until he wins at least 4 championships.
Because the 8 years between them, that's a whole another driver coming through the ranks.
Oh yeah, that's someone's whole career.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of it would have been cool to see them side by side, both at the same age. Obviously, I think
we're gonna see something like that with Charles and Max. Yeah. I think we might get real lucky eventually and have Lando and George join that mix as well. Yeah. But I think Charles and Max at the moment.
I'm not sure about Lando at the moment. I think. Is McLaren the best suit for him at the moment?
I hope so. He's signed till 2025.
I know, but
it's just the Mercedes, the Mercedes power unit, and obviously it's rough because in the previous specs, Mercedes were far and beyond better than a lot of the other cars. Yeah. So from McLaren's point of view, making that deal with Mercedes for being the power unit supplier, it made sense at the time, but then now,
100%,
now they're waiting for Mercedes to play catch up, which. Hopefully it's not too far. I mean, they were looking at different ways about how Red Bull have fixed their porpoising. I don't know if you've seen how they fixed it. I'll save everyone the technical, boring shit of it. Basically, on the underfloor of the car, what they've got now is it's like a vein, just like a long vein in the middle of the flooring. Yeah. That's not carbon fiber; it's metal.
Yeah, right.
It's this long metal kind of not pole, but vein underneath of the floor, which. One gives stiffness to the floor, like I was saying with the side pods of Mercedes, how their floor is too weak. Yeah. So one, it helps with the stiffness of the floor to stop the porpoising. But second of all is when it does porpoise, it's not carbon fiber on the ground either. It's metal hitting the ground, so it's not the effects aren't as bad. Yeah. Of the porpoising.
Yeah, right.
And then, but I also heard there was a drive the Red Bull drivers have started adapting their drive style where they're starting to turn a little bit on the straight. It's not massive weaves because Lance Stroll got done for weaving on a straight line last night. Yeah, he did. But just small weaves because they reckon that is breaking up the air force like the downforce.
Yeah.
It's breaking that up enough of like just the small side to side movements on the straights. It's
Yeah,
breaking
wow.
that up enough to stop the porpoising so they can get the. And to be fair, it does make sense when you look at how much straight line speed Max
Yeah.
had. I mean, and it was easy move first corner onto Carlos, and then lap 9 was when he overtook Charles, and that was a very comfortable move as
Yeah,
well.
he did, and it was pretty much
And then
smooth sailing for them.
Catch you later for the rest of the race. So
Yeah, nah, I don't know. This season's been a bit boring. Okay,
I'm liking it, even though
I mean,
Lewis
yeah.
Hamilton, like my man and my team aren't doing too good. Like I'm enjoying it. I like seeing. I don't know why I have a soft spot for Charles,
Yeah.
and I like seeing him win. But like,
I guess
it's tough seeing him come second. But
over like I guess the races individually for me have been like a bit boring. Like, there's not been
it's
like
fair,
super
yeah.
like close ones, but on the broader perspective of it, like the leaderboard is like getting pretty like interesting because you have kind of Charles Leclerc dominating at the front because Max Verstappen couldn't finish, and then now like Verstappen kind of gets a few first, and it's like, oh, he's coming back here.
Yeah.
Talking about really close at the moment. Moving on to the EPL.
EPL, that's turning out to be a crazy championship battle.
I didn't even know about this until a good friend from work was telling me about it. He's a Liverpool fan, so Liverpool got the draw on the weekend against Tottenham Hotspurs.
Dropped 2 points.
Suck shit, but they needed a point. So basically, at the moment, this is how it stands. So there's 3 games to go. Obviously, talking about the top 2 at the moment, no one really cares about the rest of it. And unless you're like a Leeds fan, which they're in relegation zone at the moment. But the top 2, right? Man City versus Liverpool. And it's happened, I think, the last at least 2 years have been Man City and Liverpool. But 3 games to go. Man City have a game in hand. Oh, no, not game in hand, but they've won an extra game. So 3 points ahead with a 4-goal difference ahead as well. So they're sitting on 68 goal difference compared to Liverpool's 64, right?
Yeah.
But what I didn't know is not everyone knows, but everyone loves the last fixture of the whole season, right? Which is I don't even know what they call it, but it's when everyone versus each other at the same time.
Yeah.
So, which I reckon they should implement to the AFL. That'd be really cool, but we don't have enough stadiums. But, right, coming up is Aston Villa versus Liverpool. Now, do you know anything about Aston Villa at the moment? And who coaches them?
Oh, isn't that Stevie G?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, that is... the glamour of it's kind of died off because I low-key thought it was the last round. So, it's not even the last round. But next round, it is Stevie G's Aston Villa versus Liverpool. And keep in mind...
Is Villa safe? Like, are they
I fucked the whole thing up. Sorry. They're versing them next round. In the last round, Stevie G's Aston Villa versus City. Now, what would make it interesting, right, if somehow Man City stop dominating and it gets to the last round where, say, Liverpool only need like a couple goals to win, like on top of Man City, right? So Man City have, here we go. They do. So they have Aston Villa last game. So imagine, right, Stevie G, Liverpool legend. Also playing for Villa now is Coutinho. So imagine, right, comes down to the 90th minute. Man City need to lose. Aston Villa, they're drawing at the moment, right? And Liverpool have already won. Imagine Coutinho goal to pretty much move down City and for Liverpool to win the champion. Which is at the moment pretty much guaranteed. Or it's probably the betting odds are probably saying as well that Man City are just going to win the league.
Yeah, they're just going to win it. They just got to win out from here, right?
Pretty much, yeah. All that, just keep on winning games. But imagine it came down to that last game, CVG's buddy Aston Villa.
Yeah, that would be correct.
Because that couldn't happen. That's just.
He'll still find a way to fuck it up for him, though. I mean, as a United fan, shit year, I'm finding some glimmers of hope in Liverpool choking the league to City.
Yeah.
I know it's to City, but I'd low-key rather City win than Liverpool.
Yeah, same.
2, the hope that Liverpool lose the Champions League next week.
Yeah.
And 3rd, of Leeds going down. So, shit year for us.
Do you want Leeds to go down?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, other than Liverpool and City, Leeds are like the next biggest rivals.
Roles, yeah, right.
So,
I love seeing Leeds do
thing.
well.
Like, it is nice to have Leeds in the Premier League. It makes the rivalry a bit better than when they're in the Championship. But fuck Leeds, fuck Liverpool. City, please just win it out.
I think I don't want City to win the Champions League. I'll probably want Real Madrid to win. Yeah, I'd say it kind of sucks, but I don't want to see the Liverpool. I know too many Liverpool fans. That's why.
I mean, I've been absolutely on point in the group. We made a group chat for the FA Cup final. I've been fighting for my life against all the Liverpool fans. But I was just about to say
Duncan Coombs.
No,
shut up.
I just had a complete.
But with that group chat, I put it together to go watch the League Cup, and no one could make it, and then hopefully everyone can make the FA Cup.
Oh yeah, I'd be keen for the FA Cup for sure.
But yeah, out of the three that were getting relegated, so Norwich has already been relegated. Watford, I don't know if they've only on 22 points, but it's already down to pretty much Everton, or Burnley, or Leeds, and. Not gonna lie,
it's gonna be sad to see if Burnley go down. Like, if Burnley have been up there for a while, a while.
I want, but Burnley are the ones that are like,
especially after getting rid of Sean Dyche.
Yeah,
like, how are you gonna get rid of the manager that kept you up? Have they?
Yeah, they've been actually doing better since. Yeah, but after Everton beat Chelsea the other week, I'm like, fuck that. I want them to go down. They've never been down before.
Yeah.
So
that's why they're part of the Big Six. I mean, they've never been dropped down. Look, talking about, clubs, and talking about Liverpool and Leeds and, I said I want City to do in the title, but, it's still fuck City very much on my ends. And as you know, they're a bought club, zero history.
Yeah.
Have you seen them trying to manufacture up a little bit of, heritage in the the Have you seen the new jerseys they've released?
What was
they
like
just
a
announced?
Throwback?
So obviously it's 2022, 2012, the year happens where Aguero against QPR, scores the last minute. Aguero! You know that one?
Yeah.
They've made shirts that say, Aguero! on the back.
That is classic Man City.
I open up Twitter today, and I just see a bunch of fucking plastic City fans, and it just says, Aguero! And then number 10.
So are the bloody shirts that they're making, are they like the classic, like normal tees, or they're actually game day shirts that say it?
I'm unsure because... like the shirt that I think
saw it's like probably just here we go.
Those ones. So they're warm up jerseys.
Wow.
They're warm up jerseys.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Damn. But it's right.
That's actually a good spot for me. They're good shit.
Yeah. They low key. I don't know. Is that the type of style they used to wear, or is it like a new design as well?
Well, that's not what they want it in theme.
No
so
way.
I don't know if that's just them trying to.
It's just a cash grab, really.
Yeah, legit. Yeah. But
even if they don't really know enough money.
I wouldn't put our City to good cash grabs.
Yeah. But, that kind of wraps most things up. I guess we can talk about footy a little bit. Like, not really exciting weekend.
We should really be honest with our loyal fans. Neither of us watched, any footy this week.
No, I didn't even get to watch Melbourne.
Didn't you?
Nah, I was at work, so good job getting the job done. 38
West Coast lost again.
West Coast got thumped again.
Hey, did you hear about the I don't know if you heard about how they fined all the players that
so I think it was about 7 players went nightclubbing in was it Leederville, and I think some of them were just Rotham and Nelson. They're the ones I heard about, but they pretty much said named and shamed them because they got COVID, didn't they?
Oh yeah. They had to go on the protocols.
That's just stupid.
Speaking about footy and kind of all of that, one last thing I want to end on is, so when you're in high school, right? This isn't on the run sheet either, but so when you're in high school, they're always talking about peer pressure is the worst thing. Say no to peer pressure. And in high school, I don't know about you, I never really found that I was peer pressured to do a lot of things.
Oh no, you were.
Well, okay, but
there was peer
pressuring is but it's like I was gonna do it whether it was egged on or not. Like I was, I just like doing shit for a laugh. So it was
same here.
But I've never actually experienced peer pressure like this before. And it's so much worse when you're in the adult world, right? So this is gonna sound so bitch, but so I when I go to work, I come to work, I do my job, I come home, right?
Yeah.
I'm 20. There's not much I can relate to a lot of my coworkers, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, it's on Friday and it's a quiet time. I'm finishing at 5 and they're doing drinks in the kitchen, but I'm still on shift. So my boss is like, "Oh, do you want a beer?" And I was like, "Oh, okay." So he comes over, brings a beer over to my desk, and we're just talking.
Love a Friday beer.
Having a drink. Yeah, I was like, yeah, good vibes. And 5 o'clock or 4:30 hits, and boss is like, "All right, wrap it up early." and I'm getting all my shit ready. And he's like, oh, me and some of the other guys, like a couple guys from finance and one of the other teammates going for a pint. Do you want to come with?
Fuck yeah.
And
Get on the pints.
he's like, yeah,
City
it's
pints.
my shout. And I was like, fuck. I was like, I usually don't, but like,
Yeah,
I feel like I should socialize a
gotta
little
feel
bit.
inclusive.
So I was like, all right, I'll come for one. So we head to Pirate Life. Have you ever been in the city?
No.
It's not bad. Very busy. I guess it was after work drinks. But they we get there and they're like, oh, what do you drink? And I was like, oh, I'm pretty fine with whatever. Like, I don't want to rock the boat.
And Dylan's the type of guy that would start off with a beer and maybe drink 2 sips, and it's like, yeah, that's enough for me, mate.
And then hop on the vodka lemonades or whatever, right? So anyway, there you go. Oh yeah, they do a hell nice hazy IPA here, and I was like,
hazy? Is that? I'm sorry, is that like a cocktail or something?
No, so it's a beer. It's just like a hazy. It's like I think it's like a flavor profile.
Okay.
And they're like, they were a real nice hazy IPA here. We're gonna get that, and I was like, okay, like I didn't want to seem like a bitch, so I was like, okay, I'll get one.
Yeah.
So anyway, first pint, and I was like, I was still off kind of the beer from work, so I was like, I'll get this down. It's going down all right. And first pint comes down, and I was like, all right, I'm probably just might just head home soon, just tap it out.
Tipsy.
That I felt surprisingly tipsy off that, and also it tasted gross, and I know I couldn't do another one, but I didn't want to like say that I couldn't do another one and go for a different drink.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm like, all right, in my head, I'm like, I'm gonna head off soon. I'm gonna go to the bathroom first. So anyway, I go to the bathroom. As I walk back out of the bathroom, my pint is now full. I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, I know I drank this. I was like, I'm feeling it. I know I drank this.
Yeah.
And I come back to the table, and my boss is like, oh yeah, we got you another pint. And I was like,
good, mate. Free drinks. Why not?
yeah, all right, but it's fucking mate. I'm struggling, right?
Yeah,
and I'm ready to go. I'm
not...
like, oh, I was thinking about going soon, and they're like, oh no, don't, you're gonna get it down. I'm gonna get it down, yo. I look at one of the other guys, Jack, one of the guys from finance, and this guy is the straightest cut guy I've ever met at work, and he also was in the same predicament as he came to the bathroom and then came back, and he had an Uber on the way that the other boys didn't know about.
Yeah.
So he gets to the table, and then they see me, and they give me shit. And he's like, oh, fuck, like my Uber's on the way. So he necks back a pint of this fucking hazy IPA. And I'm like...
What? What's the point of that? Like, is he going home or is he going out to...
I don't know where he's going.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know. But like, he bought it and he did it. So I was like, whatever. Yeah. And I was like, I can't do this. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right. Like, and I made a lie. It was a veteran move for anyone at home where when you go out somewhere but you don't want to go there, so you say, I've got something later on. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm going to take my brother to footy training.
Oh, you love that.
Shit like that. Right? I love that one. I do love that one.
Use it on the voice.
I used it on this occasion. So I went, oh yeah, like I'll come for one, but I got to pick up my brother from footy training later. And anyway, so
footy training on Friday. Lie. Norman trains on Friday.
That's dumbest reason. And so anyway, boss gives the second pint. The guy necks it back, and my boss is like, oh, when do you have to pick up your brother from footy training? And I just went, oh, I messaged my brother in the bathroom, like he's going to the Freo game after training, so I'd have to pick him up. And boss was like, oh, okay, so I'm just like sitting there talking.
So you fumbled your lie?
So I fumbled the lie because I was like, I can't, because if I say you're going to pick him up, like it's getting close. I just had to pick him up like 6:30. This is like 6:15. Like it's already take me ages to get home. Like he knows I had to go soon. Yeah. And so I'm like, fuck, like don't worry about that. Like I'm just going to stay with you guys. Yeah. So anyway, I'm sipping, and it's getting worse. It's worse and worse. And I'm starting to feel sicker and sicker. And I'm looking at theirs, and theirs is basically finished. And I'm 3/4 full.
Did they mention it? Like, are you drinking that free?
They didn't mention it, and I know that they saw me do this move, but this is I was thinking I couldn't. They were ready to leave.
You done the good old.
Well, I was thinking I could do that, but it was too busy, and I was like, I don't want to be the guy where they're buying me drinks, so it's like a full empty cups and just my pint. Yeah. So I'm sitting there and I do the ones where I neck it, and I'm like, all right, and I neck it back a bit more, and neck it back a little bit more, and as I'm necking it back, I turn around away from everyone and I walk to the bar, and I just let it unhit my lips back into the cup and just put up the cup in the bar, turn around, like, all right, man, I gotta go, fellas. And everyone walks out, and I was like, as I'm walking back, I'm like, why the fuck am I this drunk off of 1.5 pints? But I'm also like, I'm proud that I managed to come up with that reason.
Yeah, no, that's fair play. I'm looking at the beer right now. I'm like, I would not drink that at all.
But like, just if it was one of the boys and we were out for a pint, like I would have left the pint. I would have had one sip and been like, fuck that. Yeah. Right. But because it was my boss and it was like people, and they're like, no, like we just got you a pint, like you can't do it. And I was like, fuck, like I have to. I can't look like a little bitch on my first drinks out with the boys.
I think you're the type of person that if you don't like a drink, you don't like a drink. I'm normally pretty much like, if there's a free drink, man, I'm necking it back. Fuck it, like that other guy, I neck it back and then go. Even though there's no point in necking it back, even though it'll make you feel more sick, and you're probably going home just to sleep. Yeah, legit. Like I'll still neck it back, but I was saying that I had like a bubble like iced tea the other day.
Elite though.
And I wanted to yak. I was like, I can't even have it. I
Oh.
was like, what the fuck? How do people drink that?
Oh, bubble tea is elite. But let me just on my back of my story about why I'm feeling so sick. I'm not usually that much of a bitch. My work diet consists of like just darts and sushi.
Yeah.
Right. So the only thing I'd eat in the entire day was half of I ate 35 grams of almonds.
Yeah.
Right. I know it's because it's half the container. The container's 70 grams. So
35.
I ate 35 grams of almonds over the day. 6-pack of sushi. Not even 6-pack. It was a fucking hand roll of sushi. And
Wait, what do you mean hand
like
roll?
you know, like the ones that aren't cut up and it's just like
okay.
thing. I ate one of them, almonds, and then I had 3 darts. That was my entire intake
Darts
for the
fill you up
day.
as well.
And I was like, and then as soon as I started drinking, I was like, I really should eat like something
Yeah.
to set the stomach at least.
Yeah. Well, I think, you need to grow up and drink beer, mate. Like, beer's not that bad.
But we got over this. Like it was a pint.
It's
They're
co-
pots.
yeah,
when you
true.
get pots, when you need minis.
I think what you need to do is play like a big rough game of footy and then have a beer
yeah.
and you like fucking rough that
I might
shit.
come down to the Rose next year just for one
Yeah.
game, just to get that experience.
No, whilst even like come down and watch me play and just do laps on laps and you're like, fuck Drew, I'm like, have a beer then and then you're like, oh, I fucking deserve this beer because it's actually refreshing.
Yeah.
So
I suppose like a
grow
hard
up,
day,
mate,
hard
grow
day at work. Nothing's better than a beer.
So now every time you go, are you going to do this most Fridays now? You're going to be, because
I'm gonna try. I think. Well,
I love the
fucking,
culture.
I made like no shit. I came
Yeah.
home that night and I was like, holy fuck, I love work beers.
yeah, the only thing, like, I love work beers as well, but sometimes I catch myself out, I stay a little bit longer than I should, but I think I self-consciously think, oh, as soon as I leave, they're going to start talking about me. But, like,
Yeah.
I generally don't think about that until I'm, like, I don't stay because of long. I'm just like, oh, I've got nothing to do at home. Like, I might as well stay around. And then I stay that a little bit longer, and I'm like, I should have just gone home. Like, the topics are boring, like, whatever.
But it's when we're sitting there and I'm thinking like we're just talking and obviously I'm a bit tipsy, so the conversation's flowing. You know how it is when you're tipsy, right? And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking I'm fine at the time. As soon as I got home, I was like, fuck, I definitely said way too much to like my boss and like all like the higher ups at work.
Yeah, first Christmas party it was like the afters of the afters of the afters. So it was like 5 of us left, and I was still going strong. And those are the times where like the questions come out. It's like, oh yeah, who's the hottest coworker and shit like that. I'm like, I don't know who to say.
This is when we're sitting there and it's it's fucking 6 o'clock or like 5:30 and they're just like cussing out like the owner and shit, and then they're talking. They're like
we love that.
I'm standing there like I was
fuck
talking
that
to one
person.
of them, yeah, and then talking to one of them, my boss just goes, oh, like Dylan, you ever been to karaoke? And I was like, oh no, I've never been. And he goes, oh yeah, because they were talking about how one of the boys have just moved into a new area and there's heaps of brothels around, right? And I was like, all right. So I was like, this is a weird segue. And I was like, I've never done karaoke. And he goes, they all start looking at each other like laughing and giggling. And
I've never done karaoke.
They all start looking at each other and I'm like, what the fuck are they laughing about? And he goes, oh, my boss goes, we should invite him next time we go. And I was like
to a brothel or to karaoke?
Wait, like to karaoke. And I'm like,
yeah.
all right. I was like keen, I guess. And he's like, oh yeah, so we found this karaoke place where it's essentially like private rooms, like a normal karaoke place. So it's a private room and like you book out the room and then girls come in and like you basically like all these girls come in and you just like
start doing karaoke to them. Like,
you choose a girl and the girl serves you topless like the whole night.
Yeah, right.
As you're doing karaoke, and my boss is sitting there like all giggling at each other. They're like, "We'll invite him next time. We'll invite him next time." I'm sitting there. This is the biggest reality. I was like, "Time and place. I'm in. Time and place. I'm in." Trying to seem hard, but I got home and I was like, "Fuck, that was the wrong thing to say."
Mate, I know you, and you hate karaoke.
I'd hate karaoke and I'd hate seeing tits with my boss.
No, that's fun.
That's probably the 2 worst things I don't want to do.
Fun. What do you mean? Last thing, we're about to wrap it up, but I saw a story of someone doing a Bubbla. Did you see the same story?
I saw this.
saw
this.
He's a lovely bloke.
He's. I've never met it. Oh, I haven't.
What a loose unit.
Yeah, that's a. I didn't know it was that
Have you
type
ever
of guy.
done it?
I haven't, and I don't think I ever will. Have you ever done it?
Yes. I don't think I touched lips though. I'll be standing on that. I didn't touch lips, but I got close, and it was at whose was it?
He was touching it.
Oh, he got in his
Yeah.
mouth. That was fucked. I would never go that.
It's casual, yeah. Does it?
I was at some fucking
does it for fun.
piss up, and then I was pissing, and then one of the boys was like, "Give it a Bubbla," and I was like, "Fuck!" And then when you're drunk, you're like anything to impress the boys. So you start like close, and I start doing like the one where it's like the tongue's out a little bit, like the.
Oh.
Like half pretending, but I was like, I was a good distance away from it. I was zero chance of making that.
What we're talking about is a bubbler is pissing and then trying to
pissing upwards towards your face, so it's like a water fountain,
Yeah.
and then you pretend to sip.
That can't be me.
This guy sipped. He drank.
Oh,
he drank.
He was thirsty, bro.
Right,
Thirsty camel.
He put up 20 points at the basketball court at recess, and he's like sipping in that water before he goes to class.
That was something else. And I didn't know he was that type of bloke, but I do now. So shout out to him. I could never, honestly, no matter how drunk I am, I couldn't. Fuck that. All right.
Subscribe. Cheers for watching.
Cheers.